Howdy everybody, here for my June garden walk. Starting off, I'm next to my Siberian pea shrub, which was only about 4 inches tall. I bought it from Burnt Ridge Nursery this spring, and it's already grown out the top of the tube. And in the wood chips I put next to it, those are all potatoes. So I'm going to get a potato harvest, and this is growing incredibly fast. I think it's already a really beautiful little tree or a little shrub, so I'm excited for it. As we pan over, garden is fairly weedy. I need to work on it, but right over here is the boysenberry that I planted this year as well. There are some chrysanthemums from last year I planted. Some garlic with a crazy curly scape on top. I'll probably pick that later for my family. Some bee balm with a squash coming up next to it. Some iris. Here's my shea tree, finally leafing out and looking good. Another garlic right here. More iris. Just a beautiful little patch. As I come further over this way, here's a smaller garlic. But there's my nice little start to show you that stuff on the permaculture island is indeed growing. Let's take a cut and we'll head to another beautiful spot in the garden. See y'all in a minute. Alright, quick update on a more recent permaculture island. This one I planted this spring. It's a chestnut tree, potatoes all around it, and a bee balm. Just wanted to show you real quick that this one is indeed growing well too. Here we go. Alright, here we have one of my annual gardens up nearby the house. Gonna have to put in some work weeding it and taking care of it again, but I'm gonna give it a big water tonight. Got a bunch of pretty little marigolds dotted throughout. It's mostly tomatoes and tomatillos. So this one will be real quick through. We'll head to the next spot. Alright, here we are on the maypop trellis. They're finally starting to jump up out of the ground. All the beans I keep planting and replanting here have not come up or have been immediately eaten by something, so I call that a wash. Daffodils inside are finally giving up, going to bed for winter. More maypops all over the place. A little asparagus I stuck here because at the time I didn't have a better spot for them. It's a huge ocean of bee balm that I'm so excited to catch on camera once it bursts open. And then another asparagus on the other side of it. But yeah, this one looks like it's doing really, really well. So can't wait to show you guys the maypops as they mature throughout winter. I'll see you in the next area. Here we are at my quince tree. The weeds have certainly kicked up pretty bad, but the tree's doing well. The asparagus is bigger than I am. The tree's bigger than I am. All this from my finger forward is all new growth. Just absolutely beautiful tree. And it's another garlic scape poking out down there. Probably going to harvest that later. There's a hosta down there beneath the weeds, so I got to be careful when I come in and start cutting back the weeds all over the place. But yeah, for those of you new to this channel, this was actually featured in some of my earliest videos, talking about why on some occasions you actually are better off planting a tree below the roots. Normally a tree you always want to leave the root ball exposed, so the tree can breathe and it doesn't girdle itself. However, quince is famous for having really weak connections between it and the graft. So I didn't want to risk eventually in our high winds, because we have very bad wind here, the tree snapping right off at the graft and now no tree. I didn't want to risk that. So I buried it far enough below that the graft should eventually die and the tree will send out its own roots by then and will have to form a whole new root ball. I'm told that works, at least with quince trees that works. And so far the tree looks incredibly happy and healthy. It flowers profusely in spring. So we're just going to have to wait and see if this experiment pays off. But so far it's been doing great. Alright, I'll see you all in the next spot as soon as I can. Alright, starting out here we have one of my beautiful magnolia trees. This is the biggest and tallest. It's taller than me now. There's what the bloom should look like, fully out in the open. Just a beautiful, beautiful plant. The leaves are edible as tea. And the petals themselves are edible, treated a lot like ginger. Kind of a floral ginger kind of flavor. Definitely worth eating. Not just oh, I guess you could eat this. It definitely is quite good, prepared the right way. The petals are a little rubbery, but tender enough they snap over. I'll give you a taste test here. Intensely flowery. Definitely not good on its own. Wouldn't eat it on its own this way, willingly. And a little gingery, but not bad, just way too intense on its own. Sliced very, very fine and added to a salad, that would add a nice floral flavor. Or cooked like ginger in a stir fry, something like that. As long as you didn't use too many, that'd be nice. The base has a lot more crunch to it as well, much firmer. So that might also lend itself to different places and uses. Here we have more garlic. Some are doing better than others. But we'll start heading out into the gardens. Over here is one of the sea kale that I showed in a video recently. How I propagated sea kale through root cuttings. More garlic, walking onion, yucca, cold hardy yucca, asparagus, skirret. Keep heading over this way. One of my 2 new gummy berries. And we're gonna turn right around. There's the columbine. I did a short on columbine recently. The flowers have faded, but plant's doing well. Here's my aronia. It's got berries on it. They're not ripe yet though. River locust is looking quite good. And we're gonna walk in this way for a moment. Right in here, I have more. Let me zoom in. More sea kale. Couple nasturtiums. I've been trying for years to get nasturtiums. I just get them to sprout and then they just kind of give up. Lots and lots of garlic with big, beautiful scapes on it. And right there's a rose of Sharon that's variegated. It's a very pretty one. I hope to see it do well. My wife picked it out. It's a pink one. I'm going to zoom back out because moving around zoomed in seems to give people motion sickness. I'm trying to get better about it. Neighbor just drove by. All right, heading over. Here is a patch of exceptionally good looking Nigella or Love in a Mist. Did a video on them recently, but I kind of wish I had waited now because that purple one, I've never seen one so intensely purple. It is absolutely gorgeous example of a Nigella. Just beautiful, beautiful examples. Oh, let me zoom in and let you guys really look at that. That weird alien clump, that's the seed pod on them. Even their seed pods are crazy looking. Can't tell if my camera's foggy. Maybe I got my thumb on it. I'm gonna show you this and then I'll probably wipe it off and refilm a little bit. But here's another comfrey. My tiger's tooth jujube, which I'm told is a little more cold hardy. And there's an echinacea. I believe this is a pale purple. It's just starting out, so it's not anywhere near its max beauty yet. So we'll give it some more time. It's a garlic and an asparagus. See y'all after I've wiped off the camera. Give me just one moment. Alright, one last look over these beautiful Nigella, just in case I was a little fogged up there. But just some beautiful examples. And I've really got to figure out what I'm going to do about some of these weeds. But back over here by one of my cherry trees that's just struggling. No matter how hard I've tried, I've got one cherry tree that has just not done better year after year. But comfrey and strawberries all around it. The strawberries really seem to help with weeds. Bee balm back there. Some absolutely huge walking onion. And I keep seeing in the sunshine right there another beautiful, beautiful strawberry. Now that one's perfect. Firm texture still, but super juicy, super sweet. Might be one of, if not the best strawberry I've eaten in my life. Just delicious. There's a couple seeds left on these always, so I throw them to a part of the garden without strawberries in them. Alright, I know there's more strawberries here, and I'd love to go pick some more, but I gotta keep filming for y'all. So we'll start heading over this way. All these weeds taking over this area bother me, but haven't had a lot of luck getting rid of whatever this stuff is. There's a blueberry kind of hidden in the weeds. As we walk over here, we've got another sea kale, more garlic, quite a bit more garlic. Supposed to be green gauge plum, but I worry that the deer might have eaten the plum and left only the rootstock. I'm not sure yet. It's so windy here, the asparagus out here is always laying on its side from being blown over. It's sending up fresh winds all season, but it looks good. It looks really healthy. It's definitely not snapped off at the base, it's just blown over. So hopefully it's doing just fine. Gonna come around the other way. This is where I filmed my video on chufa nut, right where all that garlic is. I planted chufa nut last year. I probably should have planted it already this year, but I haven't got around to it. The tubers can last a long time. There's some more sea kale. Potatoes. We're gonna just stomp our way through the weeds out into the front again. More potatoes, baptisia, asparagus, some really, really tall cut leaf coneflower. It's going to be real beautiful soon, but it's kind of overtaking this aronia, so I may have to cut it back. Here's one of my two older gummy berries with walking onions around it, potatoes, tulip leaves that are all dried up, asparagus. It's got a nice community grown up around it. Looks really nice. Looking behind us, we've got all this beautiful comfrey, and I think this year I'll have to call it quits on these dogwood I've got out front. They just haven't woke up from dormancy. They didn't do well their first year or their second year. Here they're on their third year. It looks like they just didn't come back at all. Oh well, life happens. If it didn't make it, it just wasn't going to. Those were Kusa dogwood, or Asian dogwood. This one though is my other gumi, looking very big, beautiful, and healthy. Here's that other Asian dogwood, or Kusa dogwood. Again, just didn't come back, didn't make it. But these walking onions around it sure look great. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, 2 fingers wide on that stem. Daffodil right next to that. Seems that we have a lot of trouble with things right up front. Here's that other gummy berry. Looks like the comfrey next to it's coming up just fine. That comfrey, I don't really want to grow next to that. That's my prickly pear that I transplanted in a previous video. Got some potatoes, walking onion, and right down there, it's looking good. Excuse me. Excuse me. Wow. The sun's bright out here. But yeah, that gummy berry is determined to grow really big, really fast. So that one might produce in 3 years. We'll see. Last thing up front, as I walk along, there's some potatoes coming up where I put them. And right here, the leaves always look real ratty, I've noticed. Real torn up. But that's one of my 2, and my most recent of my 2 medlar trees. They're absolutely beautiful, so even if the taste isn't quite your cup of tea, they are an absolutely beautiful addition. We'll go to our other medlar here in a moment, but I wanted to capture the last little bit of beauty on these. This is another aronia, but these are my Eastern Bee Balm. Wonderful wild variety. Stays really short, shorter than my knee. And they bloom a beautiful pale pink. At dusk, they must have some sort of, I can't think of the word, but UV light reaction, because they glow kind of bluish under the dark, just slightly under dusk. More cutleaf coneflower around it. Another beautiful river locust. Sorry, I'm out of the shot. Here we're going to walk right over. Here we have tayberry, Scottish tayberry. That's another comfrey, big, happy, healthy asparagus. Another medlar. We're going to get another look at it from another angle. But this strawberry here, I just noticed, has a couple. That one looks like it's kind of, yep, it's got a bug in it. But this one looks really good too. Wow, it's overproducing. I wonder if that's one of my only June bearing varieties. Most of my strawberries are everbearers. That one's got a crazy shape to it, huh? Let's give it a go. Huh. That is a weird flavor. Let's try another one. Yeah. These hardly taste like strawberries at all. Completely different taste. Almost like strawberry candy. They don't taste like any strawberry I've ever eaten. And they're not sweet like candy. They just have a taste like those old strawberry candies do. Huh. I may have to look through my records and figure out what variety that is. Here's another itty bitty little Rose of Sharon. As we walk over this way, got my horehound starting to bloom again. And a closer look at my medlar. Yep, big, beautiful. Looks like it's actually trying to form a medlar this year even. I don't know if that's going to last, especially because it appears, forget the sciencey name, but it appears to be two fused into one. But we'll see. We'll give it a go. Yeah, can't wait until I'm getting a bunch of those. I'm excited to try them, excited to see if I like them. I'm going to start walking over this way to my other green gauge. It's got a lot of happy, healthy bee balm, some comfrey I just trimmed back to refresh it, walking onions, asparagus. The tree itself is quite a bit taller than me now, so it's doing quite well. It's got a blackberry growing behind it. Won't have any fruit on it for a while, but it's good to keep an eye on it now and then. I believe the variety name on that is Ponca. Start over this way. I almost passed over a pretty cool one. Right here, this is a charm tree. It's a sorbus. Really pretty. It's in the same family as like mountain ash, so it makes for a really pretty plant. And the potatoes around it look really nice, really good. Start walking over this way. Over here we have my Odisso apple. But I also have a purple bee balm. It's not quite at its height of beauty yet, but it's looking quite nice. Very beautiful color. So I'm excited to have it here. Hopefully that spreads and takes over and does well. And right here is the Odisso. The deer chew on it pretty heavily, but it's only its second year. I'll bet it'll have time to catch up and do better in the future. So it's got potatoes all around it, just because I apparently didn't harvest them all, and it's doing quite well. Moving along. Right here, a bunch more asparagus. And we've got under the asparagus all these long leaves of red vein sorrel. An Arkansas black apple that's just a little taller than I am. It's doing quite well. It had a companion down here that was a, I'm trying to think of the word, it was a bush cherry, but it didn't make it. It kept getting chewed up by critters. Right over here, the weeds have taken over. Whatever this species is, it just kind of takes over everywhere out here all of a sudden. There's asparagus and garlic back there. It's got a scape on it I can harvest. Here we have a chestnut crabapple. Making our way around, we've got some comfrey down towards the base. Coming back in. Here we have one of our peaches. The peaches didn't flower all that much this year, and what they did got hit by frost, so nothing. We already have a lot of pest damage. Type of pest crawls in the end of the stems, and that means it's in there right now. I need to come in here with a pair of snippers and snip the ends off the tree. I don't know how I'm going to keep them healthy with how severe the pest damage is on all the green growth. Are always getting chewed back, but we're doing our best here. Here we have a purple raspberry. The purple raspberry mother plant was looking really good. It flowered, and then it dried right up. Just out of the blue, was dead overnight. So I don't know what happened with it, but it certainly had a lot of babies from the root, so maybe it was just a fluke and we'll get fruit off it in the next year. So we'll keep moving along. A beautiful asparagus and another bush cherry. So I have one bush cherry that survived. Looks quite nice. It bloomed beautifully in early spring. And it's next to another Arkansas black apple. I would really like to see this do well. I've ordered 2 new bush cherries to replace the one that was lost because they need cross-pollination. I'll be adding them in as soon as I can. I ordered them from One Green World. Here we have another, comfrey. Right down here. I believe I bought this labeled as clove. I know it's not clove, it's something else. There's another name for it. There's the stems on it. Those will all be flowers shortly, but here's some flowers way down here. It's a beautiful plant, and I got it from Richter's, which is a herb selling company, and it's right next to my yellow russet apple. As we turn and start walking this way away from my yellow russet, we hit my other contender peach. It has a garlic at the base, cut leaf coneflower, strawberries. Overall, it's looking really good. Keep walking around this way a little further. This comfrey has grown quite rapidly, and it's now starting to shade out my cactus patch. So I may have to come in here with a machete and cut it back down. But that's okay. It's starting to lose its flowers. This is kind of what they look like as they're spent. These first few will bloom. Sorry, I scared that bee. First 2 will bloom, and it'll just keep unfurling. It starts out curled up, and it'll unfurl until those last few blooms are done, and then it's just spent. It won't be blooming again for a while. So you got to cut all that stuff back, use it as fertilizer, use it as chop and drop, and it'll bloom again over and over and over as long as you put in that maintenance. So it's great for the bees. Here we have chocolate mint, determined to take over everything as mint always is. Got a few more chrysanthemums down low. Big patch of, what is this stuff called? Jerusalem artichoke. It's a great food source. It's one of the things we eat a lot of in winter. Carrots, more carrots. Right here we have a pluot and a pluary. Again, that weird frost, we kind of lost everything. Another comfrey down there. Tons of mint. As I walk up this way, we have some bee balm that's real young, asparagus falling over into the pathway, and some comfrey that is also looking real good. You can see the spiral I mentioned. As those flowers bloom and wilt, that spiral will uncurl. Got some older parts of it over here. Another cactus way down at the base of this one. So that's looking real good. Push through some of the weeds out here, because I know I've got some other stuff. that I've just not been bothering to show you guys because the weed pressure's gotten so bad. I'm pretty embarrassed of this area. Here we go. Now that is how this bee balm is supposed to look. Get some of the bindweed out of there so that it's out of the shot. But man, isn't this purple stuff beautiful? Deep dark purple. I don't remember the variety name on this, but just a beautiful purple variety. I think next year I'm going to try to come out here before the weeds start and divide that. Get it moved somewhere without the weeds so it can do a bit better. But just beautiful. I'll zoom in and really give you some nice shots. They start out like that, coming out of the center, and over time they work their way towards the outside. They kind of pop like a firework in slow motion. And every other day or so, a different set of flowers on that flower will be open. There's always lots of nectar for bees and butterflies and hummingbirds. Hummingbirds really like them. All right, we're gonna make a cut, and I'm gonna show you guys the nut orchard next. See you in a moment. All right, everybody. These are where I'm kind of combining annual gardens with trees. Starting off with my Monty Surprise apple. It's got a bee balm right there. I've dug pumpkin pits throughout this area. See right down there, we have some pumpkin seeds started. Some growing up right there. None in that spot yet. Looks like some of the wild animals have found and dug up some of my pumpkin mounds a little bit. There we go, some pumpkin seeds started right there. Just walking through and admiring how beautiful everything is. That one really got dug up. Same with the one on that side, really dug up. But lots and lots to see and look at. Another pumpkin seed coming out of that one. I should mention the other trees we went past. We went past another peach. And right here we're going past a snowbank blackberry. Lots and lots of potatoes as we walk. Another peach. Stepping over here, there's a onion. And here is a really spectacularly beautiful bee balm. I believe this one's called Moonglow. And I wish you could see the color that I'm seeing. On the screen it looks like a deeper pink. And it is a little pink in real life, but it's also blue. There's a blue color to it, especially at dusk, that really isn't captured on camera. But it is still pretty beautiful, huh? And then I'm going to pan you guys over. We got some white marigolds that look really beautiful. More peppers, more tomatoes. And zoom y'all out because I'm going to pan back over. I really don't want to give everybody motion sickness. More white marigolds and more tomatoes. These tomatoes were largely grown in more or less the same thing as my pumpkin pits. Right over here, I have a new variety of bee balm that I've just added. It's basil bee balm. Both spots are looking pretty weak and sickly. They were just transplanted last week. But at the foot of a hazel tree, some comfrey coming up around it. Lots and lots of weeds that I've packed back and have come back. There's another bee balm, garlic. Moving along this way, there's another type of bee balm. This one hasn't bloomed yet, but it's going to be pink. It's called bubblegum pink. Right there is a American hog peanut. Some hazel. For some reason, the stem on this one died back, but it's coming back from the roots, so it's fine. But yep, it's got a nitrogen fixer, garlic. As we walk along, lots and lots of weeds. But again, I know that a bee balm came up there. I swear I saw one somewhere else too, but another garlic too. And then at the end here, we have a marigold there, comfrey here, and another beautiful but struggling hazelnut. Some garlic, a very unhealthy looking, sad daylily. Right here is what's left of a mint I planted. The cats appear to have dug it up because I know I didn't plant it in any way special, so we'll put it back in the ground and try to water it in again. There's a blueberry there that's struggling. I'll water the heck out of this area shortly, but I'm gonna make a cut and move to the next area. Here we go. Alright, starting off we have a Chinese Mormon apricot. It's not Chinese nor Mormon. We don't know how it got the name, but it's a apricot with an edible pit with potatoes around it and some bones from compost. Heading over here, we have a American persimmon from Gurney's. It's like a deer nibbled on it while I was working. But overall looks really big, really healthy. It's going to grow pretty well, I bet. It's got potatoes growing all around it. Heading over here, we have our Apios americana trellis. Some of them growing out of this skirret, ending up on top with no real way to go, so I kind of stick them through to help them out. But just a beautiful spot. And then I can dump some garden water that was just from rain earlier. But as we walk along here, there's some growing up out of the middle. Here we've got Apios growing around where I have a, kiwi berry. That's one of the few self-fertile kiwi berry varieties. So hopefully it's going to come up the top and become a permanent grower on this trellis. So we've got a couple different varieties all around. Of course, we've got our cold hardy almond right over there. Over here, there's a unusual story. For free, I was given a few poplars, and I planted them hoping they were tulip poplars, and they are. So I've got a tulip poplar tree for free. I had transplanted a, what was it? I don't remember the name. Bee balm. I had transplanted a bee balm over there, but it didn't pull through. But yeah, I'm happy to have a tulip tree. They're gorgeous, they're native. So I'm happy to have that growing. Here we have one of our cold hardy pecans. All of last year's died back, so I'm hoping this year's makes it. Here we have one of our viburnums, nannyberry viburnums, and a wild plum. Here's one of my shagbark hickories that it keeps coming back year after year, but man, is it weak. It hasn't grown. Another wild plum, another nannyberry. I put the plums and nannyberries where they are in hopes that the deer would eat them rather than most of the plants through here. Right in there is a really beautiful, what's the name? It's a really beautiful thornless honey locust. Got an asparagus growing next to it. All this is, what's the word? Jerusalem artichoke. Just exploding. I thought I had harvested it all, but I guess not. There's lots of Apios americana coming up all over around here. I put some beans at the base of the tree to climb it, but it looks like they didn't grow fast enough. Weed pressure might win. If so, that's just how it goes sometimes. Walking out this way, of course, we have our Japanese walnuts. They got hit pretty hard with that frost, but they're doing all right. Over here, I don't remember if this is Proc or Meter, but this is an American persimmon, one that I planted last year. It's got a garlic next to it and a daylily in there. As we walk along, more growth out of the side that I'm looking for, but Here we have one of my Japanese walnuts again. Some bee balm. Nice healthy comfrey that's really young. Right down in here we have another American persimmon. This one's a hybrid. I believe this was Nikita's gift or something along those lines. I'm told it'll live a couple years but won't last forever out here because of the cold. We'll see. Right here we have another thornless honey locust looking really, really beautiful. Can't wait to see these actually flower and produce pods. And then right over here we've got another comfrey and another Japanese walnut. Turning around, moving along. Here we have another, shagbark hickory. And over here we're gonna take a look at one of the seedling shagbark hickories. I'm starting to think the little seedlings are gonna be the way to go. They're certainly looking a lot happier and healthier than anything else was on its first year. And while we're on our way to the next one, there's all the the chestnuts and the hazelnuts. Lots of work been done. Always making sure they get watered often enough and just doing my best. Here's that other seedling. Looks pretty all right. Yeah, so there we go. A little over a half-hour video, but we're getting there. Hopefully have more cool stuff to show you in the future. It is just starting to get into the heat of summer, so I don't know how long it's going to be before everything really starts taking off, but I'm happy at least I got to show you guys those blooms, and a few videos I already did just last week and the week before. I know I showed you guys tasting gummy berry and all sorts of cool stuff. So let's end this off on this beautiful pawpaw and this bee balm that's all but ready to bloom. I'll see y'all next month with another garden walk. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you again as soon as I can. Goodbye, everybody.